Hi, I'm Mike, and I wanted to do a really quick reel about how I wrote the song Chocolate. It looks like this. So the first thing when you're writing a song, you need inspiration. The inspiration for Chocolate was a friend and I were having a conversation about the difficulty we were both having in abstaining from the addictive cycle of chocolate. And that sort of led to the first lines. I want to eat the chocolate, but the chocolate's making me unhealthy. And then I left the idea alone for a while until I was walking back from Aldi after doing my shopping, and I remembered cacao chocolate. And that was a couple of weeks later, and nobody likes cacao. I mean, there's people who say that they like cacao, but they're lying. And that in of itself is kind of humorous. And so that was written to the song to provide the antidote for the first verse, so like a call and response. And on that walk back from Aldi, I was sort of humming some potential melodies and also connecting to an idea that a German housemate friend had told me years ago, that he always noticed in his perception that German women over 50 loved cacao, and that sort of rolled into the third verse. So these ideas were quite organic in the way that they came together, but it was very important that at each verse stage they made me giggle while I was putting them all together, because that's generally the main impetus for keeping something in a song, is that it makes me laugh. Because if there's something that makes me laugh, then there's a good chance that it'll make you laugh, or even if it doesn't, I'll still get some enjoyment out of it. Some of the voice memo ideas that initially came out, even when I was first at the piano or walking back from that Aldi, sound like this.
I want to eat the chocolate.
And this.
I want to eat the chocolate.
So very raw, but ultimately they came together in a nice structure. So then once you've got a basic verse structure and you've got some ideas, you write it all out, you sit down with the chords that come. Sometimes they just come organically. Those 3 or 4 chords came quite organically, and the feeling, the tempo all sort of fit together well. That's when the fun really starts. Ultimately, you have to keep remembering the parts where you did laugh or that were initially funny to you, because that's what's going to resonate potentially with the audience. You just don't know until you put it out there. When I got to the end of the third verse, I thought it might be a funny idea to translate Power to the German chocolate women into German and sing it in German, and that really made me laugh. And so I thought maybe it might make someone else out there laugh. I've been told I have what they call Piscean comedy chops, which means that the absurd notions and the really weird stuff is what generally makes me laugh. Of course, if I'm talking about my comedy heroes, it would be Jim Carrey, Sean McAuliffe, Robin Williams. And even though Robin Williams was more standardized, he certainly had a lot of absurdist thoroughfares. So then, following the form of the song, it's just recording it on Ableton using USB audio interface and my trusty Roland piano, filming it with my Empire of the Sun makeup and very queer flamingo jumpsuit, which I love and is kind of a brand that I've stuck to over the last while, just for something unique and that I feel resonates with who I am and what I've got to express. I remember there's a fantastic David Bowie quote, which is, always remember that the reason that you got into performing or into the arts is that you felt that there was something singular in you that you wanted to express. And I think about that all the time when I'm making my silly songs. And then once the song is edited in Ableton, I film myself lip syncing along to it. You may have noticed that already. And edit it up in CapCut. And I like to have an LED light, which means I get a nice sheen on my forehead. So yeah, that's just a little bit of info about how I recorded Chocolate.
Wow!